Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is an opportunity to stop whatever you're doing and take some time to explore how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. So today we're going to talk about one question you must answer, and I'm going to add the word honestly. One question you must answer honestly if you want to surpass your upper limits. So if there's a place in your life, a goal that you've had, or a particular area of life where you seem to feel like you can only go so far, and it can be anything. It can be an outer world goal around career or money, or you want to manifest a relationship, or you want to experience greater fulfillment in a relationship, or maybe it's a health goal or a beauty goal. It could be a creativity goal, some aspiration that you have. It could be anything. It might be an inner world goal. It might be something like a sense of confidence, feeling comfortable in your own skin, peace, joy, maybe reconnecting to your joy, love, feeling love or freedom. If you struggle with feeling trapped in your life, whatever your goal is, if you feel like you've been wanting this for a long time and you keep hitting some sort of an upper limit, or you have an inner glass ceiling, I think you're really going to like what we're going to talk about today. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I show hardworking, goal-oriented people the blind spots that keep them from receiving their long overdue rewards. And the way that I do this is I teach people how to receive, because receiving is a distinct, tangible, and results-producing skill set. But what I've discovered over 25 years of coaching is that many hardworking, goal-oriented people don't know how to receive. What we know how to do, because I count myself as one of those, is we know how to work hard, which means we'll use our minds and we'll analyze and strategize and research and set up plans, and then we'll take a lot of action and we'll set up timelines. So we do a lot of doing. We operate as a human doing. And I like to use the hunter to really describe what it is that we do. That skill set we know how to do. But how to stop all of that doing and receive what we've been working hard for, that's not as familiar. And yet it is its own skill set. And so when you don't know how to stop and actually receive what you want, then what do? We work even harder. That's fine. Hard work is great, but it can only take you so far. And when you don't know how to access the human being skill set, which is all about receiving, which is embodied in what the majestic tree does all day long, which is it just stands there, hunts nothing, analyzes nothing, has no activity other than to be, yet it receives all day, every day. When you don't know that skill set, then you'll only go so far. You'll hit that upper limit. So today we're going to unpack something really, really powerful that will help you explore more how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning the struggle that is so familiar to us when we're in human doing mode. So I talked about blind spots, and a blind spot is defined in my world as when your current point of view hides an essential insight. And a receiving blind spot occurs when you operate more as a human doing versus a human being. So the blind spot I'm going to talk about today is what I call the fear blind spot. Now, I don't think I've talked about this yet. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Now, how does a fear blind spot show up for you? Well, fear is something that most of us are familiar with when we feel it. We could say, I feel fear. I feel afraid. And then we can employ different kinds of strategies to either soothe the fear or overcome the fear or muscle through the fear or whatever. So we have ways of relating to fear when we know that's what's going on for us. But what about when the blind spot is at work? So the blind spot is at work when fear is occurring, but you don't feel the fear. You don't really know that that's what's getting in the way. And it can be hidden. It can be hidden behind a blind spot. Many times fear will sabotage our efforts, and we won't really know that's what's going on. So today we're going to unpack how this works. And it's going to be through the question, this one question that you must answer really answer honestly to find out if fear is at the root of what's sabotaging you from surpassing your upper limits. But I really want you to hold on tight to that, because I'm going to reveal what this one question is. But first, I'm going to tell you a story. This really tells you kind of how it can play out. So back in my 20s and before that, even in my teens, I, like many people, just wanted to meet that person, that special person, fall in love, get married, and have a really fulfilling relationship that would last a lifetime. And yes, I was one of those girls that was raised in that era of fairy tales and got a lot of that messaging. So yeah, I wanted to meet my Prince Charming. And I actually knew pretty early on that this wasn't going to be easy going for me. I wasn't confident. I was very, very insecure. I was very shy. And as a matter of fact, I got to a point into my 20s where I went to, after I graduated college, I went to a metaphysical counselor who supposedly, what she did was she taught the art of attracting and keeping a lifetime mate. And when we were meeting and we were exploring, what kind of support I needed, and back then they didn't really call them coaches, but she wasn't a traditional counselor. She was kind of a coach back then. And I remember thinking, if somebody can teach me how to have a successful relationship with a man, I'll pay them for it. And I did. I started working with her to learn how to have a successful relationship with a man. By now I'm in my 20s. And I embarked on this path, and I did this women's empowerment weekend that was all about learning how to have successful and productive relationships with men and partnership and that kind of stuff. And I worked really hard. I took on all of the studies, and I took on all of the opportunities to volunteer and learn and grow. Meanwhile, my track record with guys was I would go on one or a couple dates, and that was it. I didn't get beyond a few dates. And furthermore, I just didn't know how to be myself. And when I did date, all of my relationships with guys were really unhealthy. So it was kind of either dramatic, high drama would occur. Not for me, but it was just like I'd feel intense feelings and I didn't feel safe and secure. Or they were unavailable. They were emotionally unavailable or geographically unavailable. They were always unavailable in some way. And they were also not good for me. They were not a positive influence in my life. So when I talk about drama, I'm not a dramatic person, but I felt a lot of drama. Like I had to earn their love, and I had to work hard, and I had to become better, and I contort myself so that they would like me. So it was kind of more this internal feeling of angst and drama. This went on for years. This went through my teens. This went through college. This went into my early 20s. So back to this personal growth organization that I joined. Once I found it and I said, I'll pay somebody to teach me how to do this right, I worked really hard and really hard and really hard and really hard. And unbeknownst to me, I was growing. I was evolving. And then I met the man who was to become my husband. Now, when I met him, right, after all of these drama types of, pseudo relationships, when I met him, he treated me like a queen. He did what he said he was going to do. He treated me with kindness. He believed in me. He supported me in my dreams. It was great. And there came this point when I was like, this guy's too nice. I don't know. It's kind of boring. And this guy's too nice. I don't think I can do this. This isn't right for me. And I was really thinking about breaking up with him. And in that moment, I realized that I was having a successful relationship with a man. And I was about to sabotage it. Some part of me was aware I was about to sabotage it. And a little voice asked me a question. So here's the question. And it was like this: Sonia, you've been saying that you want to have a successful relationship with a man for as long as you can remember. Here's the question. Did you mean it? Did you mean it? So I invite you to look at any particular area of your life where you have not been able to quite arrive, and you've been working at it and thinking about it and spending a lot of time about it and talking about it with your friends and getting support and stuff like that, but there's still this limit. And ask yourself the question, I've been saying I want this for as long as I can remember. Ask yourself the question, did you mean it? Did you really mean it? Now, the question is actually more important than the answer initially, because what our brains will do is we'll say, well, of course I meant it. No, I really want you to stop and just relax into that question and just let that question kind of linger in your awareness and in your mind for a while. So let me continue with my story, right? So I asked myself, did I mean it? Because I thought, and then some answers started to come, and I realized, well, I can do what I've always done and just break up with him and do more of those relationships. I know how those will go. Or I can try something new and stick this out. It felt boring. It felt uncomfortable. I just was like, and I realized I didn't know how to have a healthy relationship. I had zero frame of reference. And that's what happens with an upper limit. You get to a point where you have to go into the unknown, into a realm that you've never been before. That's going to be uncomfortable. That's going to be scary, i.e., the fear blind spot. I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to be in this type of a relationship, a healthy relationship. But I realized that my answer was yes, I did mean it. I meant it when I said I wanted that. And now I was standing face to face with my upper limit and a chance to go beyond my upper limit. Now, I had nobody guiding me through this internal decision, but I heard another voice. And so here was the voice. Just be, just stay. Just be, just stay. That was my mantra as I continued to date this man. Just be, just stay. I just kept showing up and showing up and showing up. And eventually, a new aspect of me, the Sonia that was existing beyond my upper limit that could have a successful relationship with a man, started to reveal herself. I started to experience myself internally and in a relationship in a way I'd never known before. But the key to all of it was first to be willing to go into the realm of the unknown and just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. So that is what I wanted to offer you, is that question. If you're hitting an upper limit over and over and over again, stop and ask yourself, did I mean it when I said I wanted this? And just sit in that question for a while. Now, let's go deeper into how the fear blind spot manifests. If the answer is yes, I meant it, okay, but I don't know what to do, ask yourself one more question. What area of life is it that I'm not willing to give up control? Because control, our desire for control is a fear thing. We feel afraid when we feel like we're out of control, and that's where the fear blind spot can kick in. You will sabotage yourself and go back to what you know over and over and over again when you're afraid of losing control. But you won't know that it's fear because it doesn't feel like fear. It just shows up as this like upper limit issue that you just can't go beyond, and you keep racking your brain. But when you ask yourself, did I mean it when I said I wanted this? If the answer is yes, the next step to go beyond your limit is ask yourself, where have I not been willing to give up control? And then explore how you need to show up over and over again. Okay, so that's what you do if the answer is yes. If the answer is no, I just realized, you know what? I didn't mean it, but I still want it. But a part of me isn't ready for this. That's okay. If the answer is, well, I did mean it, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give up control, or I'm not ready to do what it takes. Then you access the power of willingness, because willingness will nurture and grow your commitment to be ready. Okay, so here's one willingness mantra you can use. If your answer is no, you can simply practice this. I am willing to be ready. And every time you see, now you're awake that you're actually saying you want something but sabotaging yourself, at least it's conscious now. You don't have to sabotage. You're like, you know what? I do want this, but I'm not really ready to step into that commitment. Then just notice when that feeling of desire shows up, and instead of doing what you've always done that sabotages you, okay, there it is. I really want this, and I know I have to be ready. I'm willing to be ready. If you start to get more in touch with the fear as a result of bringing this to the surface, this is where the inspiration for today's Rise and Receive came from, okay? I pulled this card for all of you. This is the Soothe Your Fear card from the Receive deck. So when you are now more aware that fear of losing control or giving up control is showing up for you, you can use this mantra. I am willing to soothe my heart by regarding my fear with great respect. Respect your fear. Let it have a place to come home to. When you bring it into your awareness and you let it be here, then you can go beyond your upper limit. You've already started to do that. And if you want some more clarity about how to really tap into soothing your fear, one of the ways you can do that is just check out my YouTube channel, because I have a couple videos and I'll include a link. You can also get your own Receive Oracle cards. They're now available on Amazon. They're getting lots of 5-star reviews. People are loving them. So I hope you'll partake, because it can really support you. Just go to receiveCardDeck.com, buy your own deck, and you can start expanding your own upper limit issues just by receiving what is here to receive. We unlearn struggle, and you can learn how to receive simply because you exist like the majestic tree, instead of buying into more struggle with the hard work ethic that's good sometimes, but when we over-rely on it, we struggle unnecessarily. So I hope this was helpful. Ask yourself that question. Did you mean it when you said you wanted that thing? And just listen. Listen in the stillness to hear what your honest answer is. Then you have some next steps you can explore. If you like this, please like, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you're on YouTube, click the red subscribe button. I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.